Hey, good morning, everyone. How's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you with another episode. Coffee with Coach. Hope you're up doing well, making some moves, got the mind in the right place. But if not, let's go ahead and do so. Yesterday's episode was about who influences you. You know, who do you have around you, the people, things, whatever. And just kind of went into that. And how sometimes when you're not aware of your associations, they don't really shove you in a direction so fast. It's just being nudged over into a certain direction over time. And those subtle influences will have a dramatic impact, whether they're good or bad, right? So the three categories that I was talking about at the end yesterday, okay? Again, for those, if you're not new, if you're just hopping on, the Compound Effect, Darren Hardy. All right, got the audio. You go to YouTube, put in the Compound Effect, Darren Hardy, and it's the actual guy, Darren Hardy, reading the whole thing to you. Okay, so I do both. This morning already do my normal routine, listen to a good hour or so of the book already, and I just wanted to go back into yesterday. But when I left yesterday, I left with Jim Rohn, Rohn, which is another motivational self-improvement guru guy that everyone should know about. If you don't, you should look it up. He talked about it's powerful to evaluate and shift your associations into three categories: dissociations, limited associations, and expanded associations. So today I'm going to go over that first category, dissociations. Might be a little uncomfortable for some, okay? Just giving you a heads up, but it's good stuff. I personally can relate to a lot of this when I stopped hanging around certain individuals, I moved, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and get into it, right? Disassociations. You guard against the influences your children are exposed to and the people they hang around. You are aware of the influence these people could have on your children and the choices they might make as a result. I believe the same principle should apply to you. You already know this. There are some people you might need to take a break from completely. This might not be an easy step to take, but it's essential. You have to make the hard choice not to let certain negative influences affect you anymore. Determine the quality of life you want to have and then surround yourself with the people who represent and support that vision. I'm constantly weeding out my life people who refuse to grow and live positively. Growing and changing your associations is a lifelong process. Some people might say I'm too rigorous about it, but I like to be more so. I had a business relationship with someone I really liked, but when the economy got difficult, most of his conversation was focused on how horrible things were, how much his company was feeling the hit, how hard it was out there. I said, man, you've got to stop working on your presentation, how bad life is. I can hear you collecting all the data points to reinforce your beliefs. He persisted in seeing everything as more hopeless than what it was. I decided we had no business doing business together. When you make the tough decision to put up boundaries between you and people who drag you down, realize that they'll fight you, especially those closest to you. Your decision to live more positive, goal-oriented life will be a mirror to their own poor choices. That was what I really liked about this the most. Your decision to live a more positive and goal-oriented life will be a mirror to their own poor choices. You will make them uncomfortable, and they will attempt to pull you back down to their level. Their resistance doesn't mean they don't love you or want the best for you. It's actually not about you at all. It's about their fear and their guilt about their own poor choices and lack of discipline. Just know that breaking away won't be easy, okay? And I'm going to leave it there because tomorrow I'll share the limited associations. All right, so let me go ahead and go into this thing here. Let's go back to the beginning. So this is huge. You always talk about, or I always hear people talk about my kids. They're everything. They're this, they're that, whatever. But like this says, when it comes to your kids and who they're hanging around with, you get this wall up right away. You get protective, overly protective, because you don't want them hanging around certain individuals that might take them down the wrong path, because you can see already where they might be going. But for you, you won't do that for yourself. Okay, man, self-care, being, what's the word? Just taking care of yourself first is a priority, right? It's a priority. You can't take care of anyone else the way you really want to if you're not being there. The selfish is the word that I was looking for, selfish. So you'll get really protective about your kids, but you won't get protective about yourself and who you're hanging out with and who you're talking to and what you're listening to and what you're reading and what you're consuming throughout the day, mentally and like physically, like eating, consuming, right? So you have to make those hard choices of separating yourself from negative influences and people, even though they're your friends, lifelong friends, childhood friends, family members. And what he says is, I'm constantly weeding out of my life people who refuse to grow and live positively. Okay, growing and changing is your association is a lifelong process. Okay, now, why I can relate to this so much is because I've had numerous people, family members, whatever, say, man, like I just go too hard with what I go hard with, healthy eating, what you're listening to, like I feel like your health is a number one priority. Like if your health isn't where it should be and what you're listening to isn't where it should be and who you're hanging around with and influenced by isn't a priority, then what are we doing, right? Where are we at? So we have to make sure we are taking a good look at that. And as much as we love certain individuals, we have to let them go sometimes. And that's why I put the scissors up there, because I've had to do that personally. And when I did that, I caught a lot of heat from a lot of people. Like, I don't care and I don't love my family and I don't love my friends. And it's not it. I care about them and I wish them well and I want them to do well, but they're not in the right mindset that I want to be around. Right? So I had to separate that. And when I did that, things started to get better for me and I started to grow and develop into a person that I'm trying to be. And that's just the only way it's going to work, And what I liked about this one here, again, that's why I reread it, is that it's not that when they get mad at you and they talk about you behind your back because you're separating yourself from them, it's not that they don't love you anymore. It's just the fact that or they don't want the best for you. It's actually not about you at all. It's about their fear and their guilt about their own poor choices and lack of discipline. And that's what it really comes down to. And I always get that. Man, you think you're better than other people. You think you're all that. And it's not that. It's not that. It's not that I think I'm just trying to be better. And because you're not trying to be better, or whoever, you try to make me feel bad for being better. Because you don't want to exercise. You don't want to go for a walk. You don't want to eat healthier. You don't want to listen to better things. You don't want to be around better people. You want to complain about this and complain about that. I don't want to be around that. Okay. I've literally had to, just the other day, cut students out of my school because not every person that walks through my door belongs on my mat. I have actually one of my students that trained with me, one of my current students showed me something that a former student that moved wrote about me, about how anal, he used the word anal, I get about my academy and how I want things run. And that's exactly it. Like, I have guidelines to where I will allow this in, and then I'm not letting the rest of that in. So if you're a certain individual that complains, whines, moans, talks too much during the roles, doesn't have good work ethic, it's not really going to work out at my school, and I'll probably have to at some point cut you loose, or you'll just quit on your own. Okay, so I'm very hard with that, and I'm very hard with certain individuals in my life to where I'll talk, and I'll get into this because he talks about 3-minute friends, 3-day friends, 3-month friends, and 3-year friends. Okay, and I'll explain all that later. But there's people that you encounter that they're just 3-minute friends. Hey, hello, how you doing? How's the family? How's the kids? How's this? How's that? Peace, I'm out, because you're about to bring some negative stuff my way. We need to run and get up out of here. I just wanted to see how you're doing because I see you. Okay, I'm not going to ignore you. I'm not going to dish you at all. I care about you, but I don't want to spend too much time with you because of your negative attitude in the way you think and how you act. All right. So I had a friend like that. He's still my friend. If I run into him, I would show him some love and ask how he's doing and stuff like that. But whenever I had this idea about opening in a school, teaching jiu-jitsu, it wasn't going to work. No one's going to pay money for you to teach jiu-jitsu. No one, like if everyone was broke, okay? There's some broke people out there, but there's a lot of people that aren't broke. And there's a lot of people that care about their health and they want to get better and they want to get in shape and they want to do other things. But there are a lot of broke people out there. So broke people, like, I'm not really talking to the broke people because it doesn't matter what you do. You can give them free stuff and they're still going to complain about free, okay? What I'm talking about is this individual is like, it didn't matter what idea I had, and I actually tried to bring him along with me at one point. It just wasn't going to work. No one's going to do that. No one's going to pay. Like where we grew up at, in the city we grew up at, in Saginaw, Michigan, no one's going to pay that money, any kind of money really, for jiu-jitsu classes. And I was like, man, that's not true. Like people have disposable income. People spend money, waste money on like just stuff, like just unnecessary stuff. Like once you understand jiu-jitsu and what it does for you, like it's a necessity. It's like a priceless thing. Like it's something that you just can't put a value on once you get in it and see what it can do and how it can change your life and your family's life and the people around you. Up until that point, when you first walk in, you see a price tag and you're like, oh yeah, it costs too much. But you don't realize what it's going to do for you down the road and how much better it's going to improve your life and your health and your health and lifestyle. But in the very beginning, no, man, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. And just didn't matter. Like whatever I said or whatever we talked about, cool guy, super funny guy. Like I love being around him. We had a lot of good times together. Just really funny. He's a joy to be around up until the point where we start talking about getting things done and some goals. And then like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. All right, cool. I got to cut some ties here and separate myself from you because like I'm trying to do this. And with you telling me that's not going to work all the time, I bring it up. Like that's not helping the situation. So proof is in the pudding. Okay. Use that phrase. I got it to work. Okay. It's working. It's still working. It's been working since day one. I'm 12 years in, have the academy. I got people changing their lives. I got people losing weight. Like our academy has impacted so many people's lives that at certain points, you can't even repay what our academy has done for certain individuals' health and their mental and then the lifestyle that they now live. There's no price tag and there's no repayment you can put on that. There's no money value you can put on that because you just can't. Okay. So you just have to, at some point, have to disassociate yourself with certain individuals and spend less time with them. Not saying you don't love them, don't care about them, completely just, ignore them, because I don't do that. Again, I still show love. Like when I go home to Saginaw or whoever I run into, or just wherever I run into, I'm showing love to people. When I catch eye contact, like I'm going to show you some love, man. If we're cool, right? If we're not cool, we're not cool. But if we're cool, I'm going to show you some love. But then after that, depending on who you are, then I'm going to cut it short, keep it short, and then I'm going to keep it moving. Now, if you're in the mindset like me and you're doing things like me, we're going to spend some time together. We're going to hang out together. We're going to talk because I want to feed off you like you're trying to feed off me, kind of thing. So good stuff today. Again, I'll share the second part to that tomorrow and the third part the next day. So anyways, we'll leave it there. I got a run to get to and then some jiu-jitsu to get to. All right, you guys have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one.